What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, we're going to go over a warning the Fed gives over the second stimulus check and also how other Democrats are angry with Nancy Pelosi. We're going to get to all that in this video. But first, if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on second stimulus check updates. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day so we can bring you all the information in a quick, concise video. And don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. Okay, Fed officials are officially begging for more stimulus from lawmakers. In normal times, Federal Reserve officials or central bankers generally try to avoid making specific recommendations on hot button spending, tax, and other policy matters handled by elected officials because they want to preserve their autonomy and manage monetary policy with minimal interference. But these are not ordinary times. Federal Chairman Jerome Powell has delicately but resolutely said in recent months he expects Congress will need to do more to compensate for income losses sustained by unemployed workers and revenue holes faced by hard-hit businesses and city and state governments because of this pandemic. Some officials have spoken out even more, saying trouble is brewing with the expiration of these relief policies. Chicago Fed President Charles Evans told reporters in early August after temporary unemployment benefits lapsed. He then later said, a lack of action or an inadequate one presents a very significant downside risk to the economy today. With the Fed unwilling to cut rates below zero, officials are focusing on how to provide more stimulus through forward guidance, specifying how long they plan to keep rates very low and to continue buying Treasury securities and mortgage bonds. Even if the Fed had the ability to make deeper rate cuts, increased government spending through stimulus packages would be more effective than monetary stimulus, according to a new research from Michael Woodward from Columbia University. Think of the economy as a network of payments. A plunge in income concentrated in a few sectors, say concerts, hotel rooms, or restaurant dining, can spill over to others for reasons unrelated to the public health threat. If business owners can't pay rent, landlords have less money to maintain their staffs, and cities face a bigger erosion of their tax base, prompting more layoffs. Which is why we've seen Fed officials asking the lawmakers and congressmen for more stimulus several times as of late. They keep saying that we need more stimulus to prevent our economy from crashing, to prevent the stock market from crashing, to prevent mass amounts of businesses from going out of business, and to prevent millions of people from losing their jobs from another crash. And they want to prevent this through more stimulus being spent in the economy, which would be unemployment checks, stimulus checks for everybody, and more money for businesses through probably the PPP or the EIDL program. And we're starting to see some effects of not having more stimulus in the big stock market drop that we've seen this week, with the S&P 500 having their worst week since June and the NASDAQ index having their worst week of the year all the way back to March, which is when everything was in the thick of things and the stock market was dropping like a rock. And for us to see that happening again now is a sign that is exactly what the Fed is asking for, that we need more stimulus. The Democrats are also starting to pressure Nancy Pelosi even more to make a deal and to just make the deal with the Republicans to pass the next stimulus package, the next stimulus check, and the unemployment extension. Moderate House Democrats are growing increasingly alarmed about stalled virus relief negotiations, with vulnerable Democrat members starting to privately push Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other party leaders to take action to break the stalemate. Those anxieties, particularly among the Democrats in GOP leaning districts or Republican leaning districts known as frontliners, have spiked as lawmakers watched the standoff drag out in the Senate this week while they were stuck back at home in their districts amid the pandemic. Nancy Pelosi says, "We don't want to go home without a bill or a new stimulus package." She says, "But don't be a cheap date." Nancy Pelosi said on a private caucus call, "When you're in a negotiation, the last place to get weak knees is at the end." Boy, Nancy Pelosi, do would you want to go on a cheap date with Nancy Pelosi? It's just she has uses some funny words sometimes. Honestly, so does the president too. So I honestly think that they just speak so much that they say some funny things. I probably do too. Let me know down below in the comments. But Nancy Pelosi says, "Don't be a cheap date. Basically, pass a $2.2 trillion stimulus bill and don't negotiate at all below $2.2 trillion." Some Democrats have suggested passing smaller, more targeted virus relief bills or stimulus packages, which many hope would stand a chance in the Senate or at least restart talks. But Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader, Democrat Chuck Schumer, have rejected that idea, saying that it weakens the Democrats' effort to secure a broader relief package. This was the infamous statement that we played on this channel. We played her extra interview saying this, that she says that she doesn't want to pass a smaller stimulus bill even if it includes stimulus checks and an unemployment extension, because that stifles their ability to have a larger stimulus package that they can spend up to $2.2 trillion on, and that they basically need $1 trillion or $950 billion for struggling Democratic states and cities, and that she's willing to hold that hostage in basically until she gets that, and she won't pass the stimulus check or the unemployment extension unless she gets that $1 trillion or almost $1 trillion for the states and cities. And she got a lot of backlash for saying that. That was a hot video when she came out and said that. You guys had so many comments about her in that video. I think we had 5,000 comments on that video, if I remember correctly. But man, I really just don't think that either side, the Republicans or the Democrats, should be holding the stimulus checks and the unemployment extension hostage when we're in a pandemic and there's so many people out there struggling right now just to pay their rent, to pay for food. They've lost their job because of the pandemic. Food prices have gone up. A lot of different prices on things have gone up. And these guys are willing to hold the checks and unemployment ransom until they get $1 trillion for states and cities. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think she should hold out and basically demand $2.2 trillion or nothing? Or do you think she should just give in, negotiate down a little bit? The Republicans said that already that they're willing to go up to $1.5 trillion. So she could come down to $1.7 trillion and probably make a deal tomorrow and get these stimulus checks out within the next few days if she'd be willing to do that. If we don't see that, we might see the president come up to $2 trillion just to get a deal done before the election or to pass that through presidential executive order. This comes as we're starting to see unemployment for millions of Americans run out from the president's presidential executive order, with most states having paid 6 weeks of the extra unemployment benefits. As you can see on this graph, about 50% of states have paid out right now. The vast majority of them paid out $300 per week. Some states paid out $400, such as Kansas, Kentucky, and Montana, and also West Virginia. That extra $100 came from the states. All these states that say payment pending should be having their money come this week for the vast majority of them, if not all of them. A lot of these states are already reporting that their money has been depleted, with those states already have paid 6 weeks of unemployment extension money, which is either $1,800 or $2,400. in extra money that basically went to their unemployed people. It's $1,800 if it comes from just the federal government. If they pitched in that extra $100, it's $2,400 for 6 weeks. A lot of these states are reporting that they haven't paid 6 weeks yet, so you should be still receiving payments for up to as many as 6 weeks for those states. Both the Democrats and the Republicans have stated numerous times that they want to have another unemployment extension update to the end of the year, as well as a stimulus check and money for small businesses and small business employees. So we should see a lot of movement on that as we get closer to the election. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you've hit the thumbs up button for me down below. It really helps out our channel. And you can click on these videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.